Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Then the third ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were the rules to be followed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas. Rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life. Vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining a livelihood without anyone's cooperations by picking up rejected grains. Purport. During student life, the brahmacharis were given full instructions about the importance of human form of life. Thus, the basic education was designated to encourage the student in becoming free from family encumbrances. Only students unable to accept such vows in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. Otherwise, the student would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. It is dependent on the quality of the student's training. We had the opportunity to meet a bold brahmachari in the personality of our spiritual master Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Such a great soul is called a Nastika Brahmachari. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Savitram Prajapatyam cha Brahmam chat Brahat tatha Varata Sanchay Salina Silonch iti vai grahe. So in this particular sloka, about brahmachari and grihastha is being explained. Different order of brahmachari and grihastha. And the next sloka, vanprastha and sannyasa will be explained. So the first is called Savitram. So Savitram means when the brahmachari is thread ceremony, when he is secondly initiated. So the first category of brahmachari who follows the brahmacharya means complete abstinence from sex life for 3 days after taking the initiation, called Savitram. Then Prajapatyam cha, and second is called Prajapatyam, who follows the again brahmacharya, complete abstinence from sex life for 1 year. It's called second, called Prajapatyam. Then Brahmam means who studies the Vedas, and till he studied the Vedas, he follows completely abstinence from sex life. So that's third. Then Brahat Tatha, who follow the whole life. So these are some of the categories are being explained. Similarly for the Grihastha, Varata Sanchay Salina. So Varata means, is Prabhupada is writing, is called vocation in terms of Vedic sanction. Vocation means doing some activity to get something to livelihood. So, but vocation is not anything whatever you wish to do, but it should be in terms of Vedic sanction. So today people want to do anything, they do a lot of other things which are not being sanctioned. So the grihastha must follow, do whatever work, a job to earn livelihood according to sanction. Like meat selling, meat killing, butchers are not sanctioned. Then sanchaya means professional duty. Then Salina, livelihood without asking anyone. Then last call, Shil Uncha. Shil Uncha means picking up the rejected grains. Even though he is in household life. So the last category where he will not do anything other than worshipping Krishna, and sometimes it so happens when the cultivation happens, crops happens, so they cut the crops and they pack it in the some shack and they carry. Some of the crops, some grains will fall. So these one very austere guests, they will go. They will not buy anything. They will just pick up whatever being fallen and wash and use whatever little graining is. Or sometime when the grains are transferred from one place to another place, or maybe some grain soap, if you go sometime, a lot of grains will be there. Afterwards, some few grains will fall from some holes in the sack. So they will just broom it and throw it outside. So they will only take out those, wash and use whatever little they get. So it's very, very austerities Prabhupada is writing in the Parpat, especially for the brahmacharis. During student life, brahmacharis were given full instructions about the importance of the human form of life. So brahmachari is called training. He should be trained so that whole life. Training is given for the girls also, for brahmachari stage, for the vanapasa, for sannyas also. All knowledge assimilation happens in the brahmacharis. And depending on that, he has to carry on the whole life. So the basic education was designated to encourage the student to become free from family encumbrances. So that tapasya is very important. So as we are reading in this part about the description of the creation, so the fundamental purpose of the whole creation is to given a chance to the conditioned soul to enjoy materially. And after failing to enjoy, because materially, if he try to enjoy, he cannot enjoy because he is spirit soul. So when after failing to enjoy, instructions about or directions about his original spiritual nature is revealed or given. Because in the beginning, if you say about spiritual nature, existence, people are not ready to hear. So when they try all ways and means to become happy, if at failing at every step, every attempt, then it's become a good fertile platform to take the spiritual instructions and get out from this material existence. But it is not possible for everyone or general mass of people to follow, because their entanglement towards the sense gratification is very, very strong, or inclination to enjoy materially. So it look like something is like impossible to come out. So that's the reason, unless they are trained into the Vairagya Vidya, like even the Sarvan Bhattacharya, the glorification of the Lord, the 100 verses compiled, and one of the verse called Vairagya Vidya Nij Bhakti Yoga Sikchartam Ekah Purushah Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sarirudhari Kirpam Buddhir Yastam Aham Prapadde. So Vairagya Vidya Nij Bhakti Yoga. So the Vairagya Vidya being taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, Nij Bhakti Yoga, by his devotion to himself. And who is that? Ekaha Purusha Purana is revealing the this line is revealed the who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekaha Purusha Purana. He is the original personality of Godhead. And which is came Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sarirudhari in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Vairagya Vidya, the Vairagya was a central theme in Vedic time. Whoever it may be. It's a central theme. Gradually, slowly, this should become from detached for material sense enjoyment. Being taught in every step of life, gradually, slowly. So unless they develop vairagya or detachment to sense gratification, there's very little hope, very less hope to take up the bhakti process, to take up the spiritual process for enlightenment. That's the reason. Bhogeswar prashaktanam tya priti chetasam vyosatmaka buddhi samadhona vidyate. So unless the detachment is very important in being taught very beginning, so some provision, rules and regulation has to be followed. So that training is very, very important, as Prabhupada is writing. The whole his growth in spiritual life depends on training on the path of brahmacharya in the beginning stage. That is being properly done, then he will be successful person to advance in spiritual path. And the vairagya, detachment, for that is very important to come to the platform of tapasya. Tapo divyam putraka ena sattvam tasmat brahma sukhatam anantam. Vairagya will not come unless one follow the path of austerities and penance. So, even in Brahma, in the beginning, when he wanted to create this cosmic manifestation, he had gone through the lot of tapasya, and Lord manifests in the front of Brahma, and the Lord says to Brahma, "O sinless Brahma, you may know from me that it was I first ordered you to undergo penance when you were perplexed in your duty." So as we know, Brahma was confused what to do. So the Lord instructed him to please do some tapasya. Such penance is my heart and soul. Who's saying? Krishna. Such penance is my heart and soul. Therefore, penance and I are non-different. So if we follow some austerities means voluntarily accepting some inconveniences. Tapasya means voluntary. And more so as the brahmacharis are recommended and advised to take some voluntary inconveniences. So in this beautiful purport, I will read some few of the lines where Prabhupada is writing. Prabhupada is saying, the plans by which one can see personality of Godhead face to face is to be understood as devotional service to the Lord and nothing else, because only by discharging devotional service in transcendental love can one approach the Lord. So the penance is recommended in our Vedic literatures, especially by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Srila Prabhupada about in devotional service. So devotional service is penance. Otherwise, if that penance alone is not sufficient to come out from attachment for sense gratification. So that's the reason it is said, Aradhito yadi haris tapsa tathakim. Naradhito yadi haris tapsa tathakim. Antar bahir yadi haris tapsa tathakim. Nantar bahir yadi haris tapsa tathakim. So the tapasya which is being recommended in the path of devotional service. So that's the reason Prabhupada is writing in this. So that penance in devotional service. Such penance is the internal potency of the Lord and is non-different from Him. Such act of internal potency are exhibited by non-attachment for material enjoyment. See, by our practice of bhakti and everything, maybe our karmas, prarabdha karmas, our sinful reaction can be vanquished. But that is not all in all. Unless our attachment for sense gratification go away, this will not go by itself. Unless we try to take it out. Unless we cross it. See, we have been developed certain kind of inclination towards to enjoyment of material thing. So those inclinations which we have been developed by transcendental knowledge, if we understand, they are the obstacles in my path to progress spiritual path. So the spiritual practices, by following only spiritual practices, but you are not willing to give it up, will not go. Any amount of bhakti will not fully help you to vanish those kind of inclinations, unless you desire yourself. So like we have attachment something, we are stick to us those attachment. So bhakti will give you the strength, but using that strength you have to take it out. It won't go automatically. Or that, how you can take it out? Because unless you understand how horrible or is it poisonous for you. So that's the reason even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that in one of the famous verse, Niskinchanas Bhagavat Bhajnon Mukhasya Param Param Jig Mishor Bhav Sagarasya Sandarshanam Besainam At Yositam Cha Ha Hanta Hanta Vish Bhakshanot Apasadu. So, as long as we have a hope, now there could be some enjoyment in material thing. Unless you become hopeless, unless you have some hope, you have some hope, till then this attachment will not go. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Bis bhakshonot appasadu. It's like a drinking, now better you drink the poison. Then continuing your material attachment. Or even saying sandarshanam. Not indulging, by even seeing in the enjoying tendency. Towards besainam or at yusitam cha. So, or if really you are param jig misur bhav sagar, if you really want to go the other side of this bhav sagara, or bhajano un mukhasya, bhagavat bhajanon mukhasya, if you're really interested to chant the holy name, to service to Krishna, if you really want to do niskinchanasya with a pure heart, then sandarshanam besainam atyusitamacha. So even looking at and having even the inclination towards material enjoyment is more dangerous than drinking the poison. Janya Suniya Biskainu. Narottama Das Thakur writes one of the songs. Bisay bisam bis satat khainu. Bisay bisam bis. Bisam means horrible. Bis means poison, horrible poison of sense gratification. Satat khainu. Till then we will not develop attachment. So that inclination has to go with the transcendental knowledge. We have to contemplate on any kind of sense gratification. One is gross, is called the sex life. Another is reached to the subtle level. Pauda says called puja, pratishtha, lava. Again you are running after something. The very basic knowledge in spirituality, I am not this body. Anything in relation to the body has no meaning. So that's the reason even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Naham Vipro Nacha Narpatir Napi Vesho Na Sudro. Naham Varni Nacha Grahapatir No Vanisto Yatirva. Kintu Prodyan Nikhil Paramanand Purna Mirthamdhir Kupi Bhartur Padakamliur Dasa Dasanu Dasa. So that transcendental knowledge to shake up our false belief, to be happy in this material world by sense gratification. So that transcendental knowledge has to be realized, not only hearing. Sometimes we speak, we hear and forget, but it has to be contemplated. And so because our mind in a polluted state make lot of plan to enjoy materially. So that's the reason Bhagavad Gita says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatam atman evatmana tusta isthir pragyas taduchyate. Or will not be fixed unless we come now. Prajahati means give up. Yada kaman, all our desire. What desire? Sarvan partha manogata, a mental concoction. So sometimes it becomes very difficult, no? Kind of we have been developing or developed certain kind of inclination towards sense gratification. Some attachment. Even Arjuna says, like, unwillingly I am forced to do certain activities. Because we have been developing those. So, and that inclination, as he said, will not go automatically. You have to work on this. You have to think of how, and you have to cross it off. A crossing will happen. If you think it's a diamond, you will not cross it. Suppose you are carrying something. That's your diamond. You will not throw it. unless you understand, is a garbage. Susti nisti banam chayamnacharya says, other day we are hearing from Chandrapati Prabhu. They spit on a thought when you think of some sex desire within women. As long as we have some kind of, no, there could be some, maybe temporary only, but at least some enjoyment is there. You will not cross it, you will not throw it on. So, and Atmani evatmana tushtha. This develop higher taste. Unless you take pleasure in chanting the holy name, unless you take pleasure in having the darshan of the Lord, unless you take a pleasure of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, unless you take a pleasure discussing about Krishna, tusyanti cha ramanti cha. What is the slogan? What is the slogan? Mat chitta matagata prana buddhiyantas parasparam katyantas chapam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti. So the devotee's time should always be engaged about talking Krishna. Then we can experience, then only we can think of coming out. Otherwise there will be no inclination to take out. Because we look after happiness and we are meant anandamaya abhyasas. So either be firm faith in the words of the spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes the instruction of the spiritual master, life and soul for the disciple. So that firm faith and conviction has to be there. Sometime logic may fail, sometime you may not be able to do, but because your firm faith in spiritual master, you have the strength to take it out and throw it off. Even though you may not be willing to do so voluntarily, but because you have a firm faith in the spiritual master, we can throw it out. Or because we must know we have been serving our foolish material desire for many lifelong. Now, as it is beautifully said or described, I would say, kamadinam katina katida palita durniteshas tesam jatamai na karuna na tripa nopasanti Utsarjayitam at yata yadupate sampratam labd buddhyas Tam ayata saranam abhiyam mam nyungchadasi. So kamadinam katina katida palita durnitisa. Palita means obeying. Kamadinam means kama adi nam kama etc. Palita, we are very obediently following. Durnideshas, they are useless and durnidesha. Nirdesha means instruction, good instruction. Durita means some worse instructions. We are obediently following many life, very sincerely. We may not follow authority so much, but we follow those kamadinam very obediently, sincerely. Round the clock, 24 hours we ready. Tesam jatamai na karuna. Even though we have followed them sincerely, but na karuna, they never shown mercy. Some imply working very hard. Sometime in Janmashtami, we give one day holiday. Chalo, so much you work, so let's take one day holiday extra. But they have not given any time, any holidays also. Na karuna, na tripa, we are never shameful. What we are doing, very seriously, no pasanti, and never give even peace and satisfaction to us. So na karuna, na tripa, no pasaniti, and palita durnideshat. But now he's saying, an Acharya, Ut sarjai tam ath yadu pate sam pratim labd buddhi. Now I develop some transcendental intelligence. What a fool I am. To whom I was falling very obediently. Tvam ayata saranam abhyam mam niyukshadase. So please now engage me. It says, O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened by the transcendental knowledge. So this transcendental knowledge, which we read Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, we should keep hearing, and this na Shravanam, and we have to contemplate. Due to the transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires. I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. So that knowledge which can help us to come out from this, and we have to work on our inclinations which we have, wrong inclination, and we have to nullify those inclinations. So such acts of internal potency are exhibited by non-attachment for material enjoyment. The living entities are encased in the conditions of material bondage because of their propensity to lord it over. But the engagement in devotional service to the Lord, one becomes detached from this enjoying spirit. The devotees automatically become detached from worldly enjoyment, and this detachment is the result of perfect knowledge. But seeing, there's a result of detachment this is a result of perfect knowledge. Therefore, the penance of devotional service includes knowledge and detachment. That is the manifestation of transcendental potency of Krishna. So in this particular verse, many beautiful things are there. Further in the next, it is said that Brahma is saying, I create this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by same energy. Lord is saying this. I create this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by same energy, and I withdraw it by the same energy. Therefore, potential power is penance only. So in this particular one line Prabhupada is mentioned, in executing penance, one must be determined to return home back to Godhead. So our determination to go back to Godhead. Now sometimes we are determined to do certain activities. So if we do not have that determination and must decide to undergo all types of tribulations for such, and if we really want to go back to Godhead, we must be ready to undergo all kind of tribulations of the mind. Mind will not leave you so easily. Mind pull you. So even the material, Prabhupada says, even for material prosperity, name and fame, one has to undergo several types of penance. Some people work hard day and night. Some people work, I've seen 18 hours a day on office. Some material, some getting some. So even for material prosperities, name and fame, one has to undergo several types of penance. Otherwise, no one can become an important figure in this material world. Why then are there several types of penance for the perfection of devotional service? Then why can't we take that penance for our eternal benefit? For material benefit, people slog like anything, and they also sacrifice lot of their sense gratification, thought for the higher sense gratification. But for the Lord, we must ready to take. And Prabhupada is saying, an easygoing life in bhakti, an easygoing life and attainment of perfection and transcendental realization cannot go together. So some degree of anxiety, some degree of penance, some degree of austerities we must take. And Prabhu, there's a bare minimum austerities by doing our sadhana, by doing our service sincerely. The bare minimum that is expected from us to um, to purify our heart, our unwanted desire. So we must be ready. They're all outside people. They take a lot of this thing. Austerity is not something. Uh, I've seen people, even if they're sick, they come to the office, do something. Somehow they close, somehow they will finish, or they do by now work at home. They will not. A few days, last 2 weeks before, I got one call from Bangalore. So one person got some brain, what do you call, some clotting, something happened. He went to the hospital, doctor recommended medicine. 2 days he's coming working at home. But office will not allow 1 week, 2 weeks over, that's it. I will go and sit home only. So even outside people, they slog hard for their maintaining whatever the material life. Why can't we take some degree of austerities for our own benefit, our own purification, and which will help us. Therefore, he wants to see, the Lord wants to see how pain is taking the devotee in his devotional service. Bhagwan bhi dekhte hain, how you are taking the some painstaking to serve me. The order is received from the Lord either directly or through one of our spiritual master. Execute the order. However, pain is taking is the severe type of penance. One who follows principle rigidly is sure to achieve success in attending the Lord mercy. So Krishna will be very merciful. Krishna will help us if we really take stretch ourselves and rest assured in the Lord. If we take some stress, you will not collapse. Krishna will help you. Krishna is there ever for you, and more so when you try to serve Him happily with love and devotion. He will be very happy to help us, even materially, even so-called material suffering. Even though we may have, Krishna would like to wipe out even material suffering for the devotee, so that he can execute more better devotional service. If we really inclined to do to serve him. So in this particular verse, we have seen how a brahmachari, even for grahastha, has to follow very strict vows given the shastra, if at all they want to advance in the spiritual path or to move on. So that I will stop here. Grintaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jagat Guru Prabhupada.